Hello, everybody. It's me, Nathan Abney Music. And today I'm going to be doing a deep dive of Simpler. So this week I've been a little under the weather, and because of that, I'm not going to be able to make a song this week for the 52 songs in a year challenge. Uh, I still will be making 52 songs. It's just I'll have to double up one of these weeks to be able to catch up. And it is Sunday, February 2nd at 2 p.m. So I am still a little bit under the weather, so a song will not be happening this week. And I apologize if I sound a little sick, if some of my ends sound like bees a little bit, or whatever. You guys know the sick sound, so I apologize for that, but the fans gotta eat, so I realized I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and make something. So I put a poll out asking what songs you guys would like to see a kind of deep dive into the production of, and Simpler was number one most voted, so that's what we're gonna be doing here today. So the first thing I had ready for the song was the drums. Something I've realized is probably the most impactful instrument for changing the overall vibe, or I guess tone of the song, is actually the drums. So the drum beat that I ended up just kind of making was this. I had a lo-fi type of feel in mind when I made this, so I think it ended up working pretty well. I think later on we end up adding some stuff. We end up adding some of this, just add a little bit of bounce in the final chorus. But other than that, the drums don't really do much throughout the song. There's also this part in the first verse. It's just a slightly simpler drum pattern, and no pun intended, with a lot of the high end and low end cut out of it. But then once we get to the chorus, it all just kind of comes back. So yeah, there's not a lot to do with the drums in this song. So the next thing I came up with here, so I'll get all these back. The next thing I came up with was this very simple electric piano chord structure for the song. It's just an F major 7th, then it goes into a C major. So those are the only two chords throughout the entire song. It's a very, very simple song. At this point, I had enough to be able to come up with the chorus melody. So at this point, I ended up just kind of having the chorus. So this is where I was at.
Wish you were simpler to me. I wish you were simpler to me.
So at this point, this is where I really decided that I was actually going to stick with this idea. Because making a song in a week, you need to decide very quickly what ideas you're actually going to be sticking with versus what ideas you're just going to throw out. Once you decide to stick with a song, you can't really last minute throw it out and make a new song in the last 24 hours. So it was at this point where I decided, okay, this is the one that I'm going to keep going with. So I knew the next thing I had to do was add some bass to it, so I added some simple 808s.
Simpler to me. I wish you were simpler to me.
And that just kind of worked. Let's see. Then I just started stacking things up. These are just various like synth pads.
I wish you were simpler to me.
This one is very interesting, and this was kind of a last minute decision, but it's sort of like a rhythmic, plucky synth. It's very subtle, but it just adds a lot of texture. And I think that does a lot of the heavy lifting in the song, actually. So there's also this interesting vocal chop. That was also kind of a last minute thing. So let's see, if we listen to the verse here, you'll hear kind of this rhythm parroted between the chorus vocal chops and the verse rhythm.
He's a boy from a small town, lost but he found.
So instead of do, 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 he's a boy from a small town. It's the exact same rhythm going on there. And so I made the verse, and I was like, you know what, that rhythm should kind of stick around throughout the song. So what I did is I recorded a vocal sample of me just saying do, and then I cut it up, and I threw it back there. Add some fat effects, added a bit crusher, some EQ, pitched it a little bit. And next thing you know, you basically have a song right here.
Simpler to me. I wish you were simpler to me. I make it complicated, and you know that I hate.
Then let's see. So I had the verse, I had the choruses. This little rap part at the end is really cool. I actually made this song before the year actually started, so I kind of cheated on this and No Way. I kind of cheated. I made them end of last year, and so this one I was on break from work, and I remember that I was just generally overthinking some things this night, and it was like 2 or 3 a.m. and I just wrote this entire verse in about 10 minutes, and I was like, all right, this has got to stay here.
And he can't even sleep right, overthinking things that he did right. I can't even comprehend, doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, it's a cool verse. And then obviously you have the final chorus.
Simpler to me.
Also, here's a small detail. I don't know if anybody has ever heard this. Nobody's ever commented about this detail to me, but it's something I intentionally threw there. It's just those exhales. I thought it sounded cool. So then if you listen to the chorus, it's there. It's in the back of the mix, though.
I wish you were simpler to me.
Then, let's see. If we go to the end here, this little section. So let's see what's happening here.
I wish you were simpler. I wish you were simpler.
So there's not a lot going on here. We have an EQ cutting out the lows and the highs, making it sound like a megaphone type of thing. Noise gate, cutting out some of the back random noise. Compressor, de-esser. Then we have a Quantec room simulator. This is something Logic actually recently added. It's just a basic reverb. But yeah, this little part, I didn't know if I wanted to keep this part in or not, but again, whatever. You're making songs in a week, you don't have a whole lot of time to make those types of decisions.
I wish you were simpler. I wish you were simpler.
That's kind of the peak of my range before going into falsetto. I can't really go much higher than that for my chest voice, but I'm glad I put that there. I tried my best to add that vocal but not make it sound whiny, and I think that's probably the best I could have done. So yeah, that is the production breakdown of Simpler. Overall, it's not too complex. This song is very much following the less is more mindset, because you don't need a lot. There wasn't a lot that I needed to do on this song. Like, once I made a couple stems, I was like, all right, well, this is basically done. Adding anything more would have just overcomplicated the entirety of the song, and I feel like I did what I needed to for this song on the production front. So then this little ending is just, whatever. Seemed like the perfect way to end the song. Just with some drums. I know earlier in this video I mentioned how drums kind of set the overall vibe of the song. And something I wanted to do and forgot to do then is I'm going to give you guys an example of that. So here it is with no drums.
I wish you were simpler to me.
So here we go. I'm going to drag a random beat in here, okay? I've never heard this beat before. This is just one of the Logic preset beats. We're going to listen to this and it's going to be entirely different.
I wish you were simpler to me. I wish you were simpler to me.
So clearly it's like drum pattern does have a very large impact. So what's this? Fat break? All right, let's drag this one in here. This one's about to get crazy. This one's going to be wild. Don't believe me, just watch.
I wish you were simpler to me.
Anyways, you guys get the gist. The drums make a big impact on the overall type of sound you're going for. So when I was going for a lo-fi sound, that is, whatever. That's what I did. So yeah, that's about it for Simpler. Not a whole lot more to really show off here. Again, it's a simple track. I wanted to make sure not to do too much. So, yep. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys later.